And we're on.
Hey.
Hey, and welcome back to the Curvy Blueprint. I am you have two hosts tonight, Coach Keish and Miss Tamray. Hey, baby.
Hey, girl, what's your deal, baby?
So tonight, we're going to jump right into part 2 of an ongoing conversation about life, love, and lessons learned. So for those of you who this may be your first time tuning in to this segment, what we are discussing is, as women, how we move through our lives and deal with different relationship issues and concerns. And as curvy women, like what the expectations have been for us to process and kind of be okay with some things. Because, if you're a big girl, you're just supposed to be all right. If somebody paid you some attention, right? So we're going to knock down some walls, and we're going to talk about like some generational curses that probably have followed many generations of most of our families, and how we're going to just, we're going to change the game. That's what we're doing tonight. So welcome. We welcome you to even join us with your comments. Your comments will appear on the screen. So I want you guys to know that we will be answering your questions. So feel free to drop your questions in. Hey, Stefan, I'm glad that you made it as well. Welcome.
Hey, Stefan.
So let's jump right in and start this conversation. A little background about me. I am 43 years old, a mother of 2, aunt of many, and I'm a mom, a best friend, a sister, daughter, niece, confidant, you name it, the coach, all of those things. And I also am a divorcee. New relationship, been in this relationship for 2 years now, and it's a whole lot different than when I was, married previously. So Tanray, tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Tanray Garcia. I just moved back to Miami from Atlanta. I was married 17 years and I had 4 kids. They're teenagers now. And I'm back into the single life, mixing and mingling. So, that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about when you were growing up, Tanray, were the women in your family very open and very verbal about their emotions in dealing with relationships and breakups and how to overcome a lot of those things?
Well, you know what? When I was growing up, I was in a house full of women, just like you, because, we go way back.
Right.
I was in, girl, I'll never forget our youth fair incident. Do you forget?
That's another story.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Yes, it is.
Okay. But I grew up in a house full of women, and they were single women. My mother and my grandmother, they both were single. I saw my grandmother date. My parents broke up when I was very young. And my parents broke up when I was very young. I don't know why my screen has cut off.
Well, I still see you.
Good. Okay, well, my parents broke up when I was young. So, I grew up with my mother and my grandma, and they pretty much, my grandma grew up, she said one thing, but once I got married, it was something different. Like when I needed to get out of my marriage, she would say stuff like, they're not going to be babies forever. Just hold on and this and that. But yet growing up, her attitude was, I can be by myself. I don't have to take nothing from nobody, the whole strong Black woman
deal.
Right. So that was pretty much how it went for me.
I had a very similar it's very similar situation growing up. A lot of the women in my family were single and or divorced. Hey, Christy, welcome. And or divorced women. And a couple of conversations were had. Conversations like, you could do bad by yourself and you don't really need nobody. And don't ever let them see you sweat. Okay, he don't want you, then, oh, well, move on. Make sure you get your child support. And and move on, you know.
Yeah.
And so to me, anything outside of that was weakness. Like if you were crying in your coffee and you just couldn't go move on with your day after this relationship went kaput, basically you were just a weak woman, and there was no recovery from that, not in the eyes of the women who were raising me, who were watching every move I made, and who ultimately held my fate in their hands. Like this was my support team. So they were babysitting for me if I needed a babysitter, and they were taking me to work if I needed a ride, or you know, whatever the case may be. So if I made them unhappy with my decisions, then I was ultimately alienating the only support system I had.
Right.
So it was very hard. And I didn't think there was even room when I was growing up and as a young mom. I didn't think there was even room to say, you know, this hurts. And, you know, I'm not happy in this situation. And right now, I don't even know what to do about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that, you know, and to their credit, I do believe that our mothers and our grandmothers and the aunts who gave that advice at the time, they were giving you the best that they had. You know, they were giving us the best that they have to give. My grandmother has since passed, but my mother's standpoint on relationships and how you should conduct them has not changed much over the years. You know, we have different conversations now. She's in her 60s, I'm in my 40s, but her position on it is pretty much still the same. Pretty much still the same. So, for you, at what point in your marriage did you say this is absolutely not going to work?
Girl, I tell you, we were together 17 years. I knew from the beginning it wasn't right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you invest so much and you get so knee deep into your foolishness, you kind of lose who you are. And it's almost like you don't know how to get out. You lose all sense of self, because you know me. I was, you know what type of woman I was. I went with the foolishness. And I wasn't gonna stick around and take no mess. But I that taught me to never say never, because I dealt with stuff I said I would never do. That's why you can't judge somebody's situation if you're on the outside looking in.
Yes, I agree.
You know, because you just never know what you'll end up dealing with and what you'll end up accepting. So it was very early on in the relationship that I knew it wasn't right. But then, you know, we started, but the babies kept coming, you know. And once the babies kept coming and coming in, I would tell my grandma that, you know, this isn't working. I feel like I'm dying. I feel like I'm losing it. And she would say stuff like, well, you should have thought of that before you had all those kids.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You need to stay there, because those babies, they're not going to be babies long. And she would, you know, that was her response to stuff like that. But yeah, that's not what you did.
Right.
You know?
Well, my grandmother, she stuck with my grandfather to the very end. Like they truly had a till death do us part relationship. But they coexisted in a house where they didn't sleep in the same room. Like they had their own separate bedroom.
For real.
Exactly. So,
yeah,
you know, the reality of it was that, you know, remember this, you know, Betty Wright, all those years always said it's better to have a piece of man than no man at all.
And that's not true, honey.
And, you know, and I think that generation of women took that to heart. Like that it truly meant you kind of had to just deal with the hand of cards that you were dealt. And if that hand of cards included any amount of abuse, you know, we're not just talking about physical abuse, but I even think about, you know, being in relationships where the abuse may have been verbal, you know, comments about your weight.
You know what? Verbal abuse is worse than, well, mental abuse is worse than all of it. I mean, once somebody can get in your head, that surpasses any other kind of abuse, because with physical abuse, the wounds, of course, that can affect you mentally too, but wounds and bruises heal. What's in your mind, that can last the rest of your life.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, because it was little things that took me years to get over. Just some of the things some of that to me, that took me a long time to get over.
Mm-hmm. And for me, I think I fought with myself for a very long time because, my grandmother and my mother, like, they laid out a blueprint of what a successful, as a woman, how you're being a successful woman, like how you're doing the woman thing the right way. And there were so many things that I just didn't do in accordance to the plan that was laid out in front of me. And it didn't feel like I should have been doing that. For me, I always kind of identify myself as a very undisciplined woman in a very disciplined world. The expectation of what my family wanted of me and what I wanted for me were always in constant conflict.
Right.
Unfortunately for my relationships, when I think about my marriage, I married a great guy. Like, he was an amazing man, and to his credit, he still is. Okay. I was in a bad place because I was attracted to women for a great part of my life. Okay. And then I married this guy because I had a son and he needed a father. And then I came into this marriage hopped up on, don't let your right hand know what your left hand doing. And, you still got to have your own stuff, even though you're married, and you can't let them see you cry, and all those things that I was taught growing up. I was trying to be the woman that I was told I had to be, while dealing in a situation that didn't serve not only me, it didn't serve my son well, and it did not serve my ex-husband well. Right. So I agree with you. The things that get inside your head, I could hear those same stories being told to me over and over again. I remember the day that my ex-husband left, and I'm going to make this long story short, but the day my ex-husband left, hello, Mary, welcome. The day that my ex-husband actually left, he called my mother, and he told my mother, I can't do this with your daughter anymore, and I'm leaving. And I had gone to take my sister to work that day. My mother takes the call, and my mother's response to him was, well, you got to do what you got to do. Oh. So while I was gone to take my sister to work, he was packing. By the time I made it back home, he was gone. And I walked into the house thinking somebody broke in. Like, I looked around. Things were all disheveled. The TV was gone. I said, Lord, somebody broke in my house. So I picked up the phone. I called the police. And I'm standing in my bathroom and my vanity mirror and my walk-in closet was behind me. And I said, someone broke into my house. The operator says, the dispatcher says, do you think they're still in the house? I said, no, they're not here, but they broke in because a lot of things are missing. And while she put me on hold for a moment, and my eyes landed on the closet. And I realized his side of the closet was empty. And when I pushed the other door open, my side of the closet still had all my things there. And the first thing I did after getting off the phone was I called my mom.
But your mom she didn't even bother to give you a heads up.
Not at all. At all. I called my mother and I said, Ma, he left. And my mother's response was, oh, yeah, he told me that. He told me he was leaving. He called me about an hour ago. So I was so angry with my mother for years. When I say years, Terry, and everybody who listened, for years, I was angry with my mother about that. Because for the life of me, I could not figure out why she didn't pick up the phone and call me.
You know what? My grandma did me the same way with my ex-husband. And when you remember that little short time I moved down here, them years back, she was on the phone with him at night, all times of night, telling him whatever she could about me. And I was like, You used to come visit me in Atlanta and you would see him staying out all night. You'd see him doing things. Because it got to the point, Shakisha, where I would be like, can you just pretend to be decent when my family come visit?
Wow.
Don't stay out all night if my grandma is here.
Right.
Don't let me see that. Okay, he ain't give a damn about that. He was still, doing his usual routines even while they were there, and I would tell anybody, don't let it get to a point where you allowing a man to just blatantly disrespect you. Of course, and what the number one thing that used to make me mad was when somebody would say, how you let him do this? And you can't let a grown person do anything.
This is true.
I can't control what you do, but I can control my response.
Yes.
So never once you see signs of somebody disrespecting you. But my grandma, and I blamed it on because the dementia was starting to kick in around that time. I was like, wait, I can't believe you flipping on me.
Right. That's how I felt. You flipped on me. Exactly. You know what I expected of my mom? I was expecting her to like get him together. Like you calling me, telling me you leaving my daughter. So apparently you want me to get you together. That's honestly what my expectation was.
Yeah.
For her to do the exact opposite. Like almost kind of like it felt like she sided with him. I'm not going to have been wife of the year. Like I'm not going to do that. And I'm not that person. Like, again, I still say he was a great man then, and I still consider him to be a great man. But the way the marriage, the pressure to get married came from my family, pressuring.
Oh, yes.
This child needs a father. You need to, this man loves you. He loves your child. Ain't no man gonna come along and love your child. And, his daddy not doing this, that, and the third. There was so much pressure to get married, but nobody bothers to tell you how to be married.
Yes.
Nobody bothers to tell you that. Nobody bothers to say, there's going to come a point where this is going to, if it feels like this, get your shit and get out. Nobody bothers. And it's so sad to me that as women, we have these similar experiences and we just have an issue with sharing and being open and transparent enough to say, it doesn't have to be like that. If it don't feel good in your spirit, then you need to do something, before you lose you. Like you said earlier,
you will lose who you are.
You lose who you are because you're chasing. And it wasn't just being married that proved that in my life. It was every relationship after that marriage that kept repeating that same thing of me trying to reinvent some part of me because this person met me fat. But when they said, oh, look him, look at Paris Hilton or whoever was popular at that moment, I was still trying to find a way to be something that I just wasn't. Right. Because nobody taught me, nobody said to me, it's okay, you are enough just as you are. There was always my grandmother, I remember, I wasn't always plus size. I was tiny once upon a time. And my grandmother said to me after I had my first son, you used to have such a nice shape.
Oh, they have no feel to that.
You used to have such a nice shape. And if the people who love you the most
putting you
say
down
that to you, then the expectation in relationships can't be much higher than that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Because my grandma, she'll even do it now. You so pretty. You so pretty. You don't need to gain another pound though. Oh, please don't
Not another pound.
Baby, not another ounce. Not another ounce, baby.
Oh God. God bless them.
Okay. But they have no filter because I remember my niece when she was younger, and I really think it has worn on her self-esteem even until today. I remember once we were looking, a beauty pageant commercial came on TV, and she's heavy. And she said, I said, you could be in a beauty pageant. I told her that. I said, you could be in a beauty pageant. And her response was, why would I do that? I wouldn't win. And before I could respond to that, my grandmother said, you sure enough want with them big old arms and those. I was like, and at the time she was like a young, like 13, 14. She was a young girl. And I've never been disrespectful to my grandma, but I was like, why would you say that to her? Why would you tell her that? You're her grandmother and you telling her stuff like that. And even now she has struggles with approval with men and being, getting approval and doing stuff that she shouldn't be doing to make me, so we have to watch the way we talk to our young people, our young girls, especially when you have something, even besides just being full figure, but any other shortcoming, well, what someone might consider a shortcoming.
Right.
Those
are the things you want to empower
that goes along with mental abuse, how it has a lasting effect.
Yes, because self-actualization and self-perception makes the world of difference of how you function in the world we live in. Like, especially for curvy, plus size, heavy, plump, chubby, fat, chunky, thick, whatever the word is this week. Mm-hmm. It's how you move in this world has a lot to do with how you see yourself. I meet so many plus size women that I find to be super talented and amazing women. Yes. And they are hiding behind the fact that being plus size denies them the access to all the opportunities the world has.
But I am glad we are breaking some barriers, and that's a good thing. But Stefan, you have a great point there. You have a great point, because chunky guys are considered sexy, especially if they got beards and all that nowadays.
I mean, I never was one for the really skinny. I always liked the guy like right in the middle, kind of on a little chubby side, because to me, he just seems like he's the guy that's kind of in touch with all of it, Now, I'll be honest with you. If your belly is touching your kneecaps, that's probably not my thing right there. But
and when you're too slim, I might break you.
Yeah, that wasn't my thing.
Fall out the frame.
I always kind of found myself landing in the middle when it came to guys. But Stefan makes a great point. Like, men's bodies have not been scrutinized not how women's bodies have been. I even see how some of the guys I work with, if they got a little faux pas, everybody, and it's like, look at Poppy, but let your pants and your shirt and let all your stuff be falling over, and everybody has some comment or they want to offer you.
They taking pictures and posting them on Facebook with crazy memes.
Exactly. So I don't know that at any point, anytime new, that anytime soon it's going to change. But yeah. What is this? That Stefan said, I did not know that. Just about to cut my beard. No, Stefan, keep that beard,
baby.
Keep the beard, baby.
And Tasha is cracking up about the belly touching the kneecap.
Yeah, but seriously though, Tasha, like really, really? Like, when I think about Big Pun, you think about Big Pun. Like, Big Pun was the deal. But so if Big Pun was getting it from the back, that meant he had to lifted that belly, dropped it on your back,
on your booty cheeks.
Negative, not doing it.
I ain't even gonna lie, and I can say stuff about big people. I feel like I can, but when I see real big people together, I'd be like, how they doing it? What they doing?
I'm curious about that. Always.
You gotta make the puzzles fit, and that's just like that's
It has to be a way that it's happening, but I don't know that I could And I think I'm only interested in women at this point, and I am still very like, hold on, like I'm a big girl. You could be a big girl, but you, I gotta draw the line. I'm only 5'2", number one. I got these little short T-Rex arms. You know,
that's
a lot of and I want to be able to, I can't, so I don't.
Yeah.
My wife is very tall compared to me. Like I'm 5'2", she's 5'10", so she's almost a foot taller than me. That's, but she's not necessarily a big girl. She's a curvy girl, but she's not a big girl. She's not a big girl. Chris, yes, you can with me. That my friend at work, he had on leggings the other day. Them pants was real snug.
Baby, I got one like that. I got one that worked with me like that. I'd be like, boy, you wearing your one, just spandex onesie. He be having one old spandex coverall on, baby.
That's a hot mess. So this guy inboxed me to ask to make a statement that he believes that there's always two sides to every woman. Do you believe that to be true, Terry?
Yes. I got that side until you piss me off. You don't want the other side.
I saw you post something about that earlier today. How easy it is to go from one extreme to the next with people.
It is like that now, and it's because of everything I've been through that I'm just like, I'm not taking all that foolishness no more. Because you take one thing, then next thing you know, you're in an unhappy place, and I ain't with that.
I identify with two women in my, like, that live in me. Mm-hmm. There's that woman that's always on the brink of greatness. Like she's on the brink of doing something totally amazing. Okay. And then the other woman is on the brink of disaster.
Oh.
Those two women coexist in me.
Okay.
And they talk to each other all day. Like they're convincing one. And sometimes, I think the woman on the brink of greatness, she wins the most, but her wins are smaller wins. So she gets through the day and she don't cuss nobody out, cut nobody off in traffic. She successfully completes her assignments, those things.
Right.
But the woman who's on the brink of disaster, when she wins big. Yeah. Because she's the one that's still afraid of a lot of things. Like I've learned how to be afraid and do it anyway. Just like doing this podcast. When we started the Curve, it was just out of a necessity that so many plus size women, our voices just get hidden in fashion. We used to be in the husky section. Remember that? Husky pants. And, or you go into major department stores and it's like the plus size department is always in the back.
It worked. Oh, I'm sorry, girl. My ADD went right to that.
You saw something interesting?
15. Yes, Tasha said she had a guy that was 315 pounds and it worked.
But you can't be.
Yeah, you got some videos, Tasha.
I'm about to say. Well, wait, but Tasha ain't that big though, right? Tasha not a big girl like that, is she? Tasha thick, but Tasha not a big girl. Tasha.
Okay.
What was the ratio here? He was 315. You was what? What was the ratio, Tasha? And exactly how did that? Did he have the belly to the knees?
He had the belly to the knees.
He did have the belly to the knees.
Yes, she said.
Good night.
It be stank once he lifted up under there in that crease, girl. Oh, no, girl, and then we cutting out anything oral when you got to move that. Oh, she was 200. He was 315.
We need
200 ain't bad depending on your height. On me, 200 is the deal.
And exactly, and how tall are you? Like all that matters,
Right. It's not. It depends on the height.
Versus 200 pounds on 5'2".
Right, because I'm 5'8". 200 pounds is the deal on me.
And 200 pounds is not the deal on my 5'2" frame. I had to clean it for
What the?
Jet, we gonna get Tasha on the show,
baby. I could have a TV show,
baby.
This your opportunity, Tasha.
Tasha got to come. She had to clean it for him, and
Tasha
she
found
5'3".
Girl,
we really got to talk because you done did the most right here on the curve. What?
Yeah. He said no. Dawn said no.
Dawn said no.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Tasha, was the sex good? Okay, because we all grown. We can ask some kind of questions right about now.
We can ask those kind of questions.
Was it good? Was the sex good?
And did he lay on top of you?
I can't imagine that. See, two big people, for one reason it don't work is because y'all ain't gonna have all the energy to do all that. Like, he can't be on top of you like that, and you too darn, and a big girl ain't gonna do no darn 30-minute marathon ride neither. So
let it go. He let what get out of control, Tasha? Because he was already 315. So what did he let get out of control? You had to clean it. No, laugh out loud. I need to lose weight, height, and everything. What did he get out of control with, Tasha? Because I need to know what got out of control. The weight he gained more weight beyond the 315.
He was active. How tall was he? That's a good question.
He must have been 6'9".
Baby, he had to be 7'8", honey. No.
Because like Dwan Howard was like
yeah, you got people like Shaq and LeBron.
Yeah, and they in the 300s, but they 10 feet tall.
That's true. He let his weight get the weight was out of control at 350. Was he past 300? The weight was out of control at 301, baby.
How tall was he? How tall was? I have to know.
What was his height?
He was 6'3".
It depends on how the weight was portioned.
That was a big joker though. Woo.
Yeah. It depends on how it was proportioned.
Bless your soul. I ain't gonna be able to do it.
Me either. I can't do it.
And you know what? Little do people know a lot of times. The truth is that even as plus size women, I get that everybody ain't for everybody. Like, I get that.
400+ pounds. Where that come in? That's what he got.
Another 75. Wait.
Y'all could have went on my 600-pound life.
He gained another
75 pounds in how long? Girl,
he gained another person.
Yeah.
Wow. So maybe he had to
start jogging right now. Hey, me too. I'm running in place right as we speak.
Because here's the deal. I know there are people who are going to overlook us as plus because they want somebody smaller, and we don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. But at the end of the day,
so funny because don't nothing overlook this.
Nothing ever overlooks you. Okay, well, I guess I'm alone in this. I've gotten overlooked. I've been told you pretty, but you should lose some weight. I've been told that.
I've been told that.
And Tasha said he treated her right. He was very respectful and caring. And I totally admire this whole conversation you've had with us tonight, Tosh. Because
me too.
Girl,
but when you said that you had to clean it for him, that's true love. He should have been respectful and caring because you done got him vulnerable. You had him at vulnerable times cleaning up under that flap, baby.
Now, Keldrick, Kels, he said he treated her right, but he sure as hell wasn't treating himself right. That brings up a great topic. Thank you so much for that comment, Kels, because I find that as women, we do this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we are always the caregivers, for everybody.
everybody
we
else.
have our aging parents, especially when we get to this stage of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
We have aging parents that we're caring for, and we have, a lot of us have kids that we care for, and it's just a lot of caring for everybody else that you lose yourself in the process. I always say that, a little bit of selfishness is not so bad because it's more like self-preservation. I think we are much better at everything that we are tasked to do when we are good to ourselves. And anybody who's going to sacrifice themselves always for somebody else you can't give more love out than you have in you. Like you can't.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be loving you more enough in order to be able to give this consistent great love out.
Yeah.
But if all you're doing is, it's just like a bank account. If you only got $50 and you swipe that baby for $150, you gonna be in trouble. And that's the truth. That doesn't mean the charge doesn't go through, but it means there's something to pay. It's gonna cost you if you overdraft your account. And that's your emotional bank. That's the bank of your heart, the bank of your spirit, the bank of your common sense, the bank of your emotion. If you just keep pouring out of it with nothing coming in, no reciprocity, then eventually you're gonna the well runs dry.
And that happens a lot in relationships. When you find yourself doing all the giving, all the trying to make it work, all the pouring, and it gets to a point where you're just getting nothing in return, and then they are expecting you to constantly pour into an empty cup, like Tiffany said.
Yes, exactly.
Emotionally, it definitely does, to the point where you lose all sense of yourself and who you are. And that's why I said I never again.
I've gotten to a place, because I'm in a new relationship now, where I've learned to give unselfishly and wholeheartedly without it being to my own detriment.
Right.
I've learned how to do that. I don't have to hold anything back.
Right. But when you're getting that in return, that is what you do. I want to be in a relationship where I can give my all and wholeheartedly and unselfishly, but getting that back, you have to make sure you're getting it back. You're getting it in return, unselfishly. And
we have to be verbal about that.
Yeah.
Like, here's the reality. We often think as women that if I'm just good to this person, they will see it and it will encourage them to be good back to me. Right. Now,
they take it.
That's not how life works at all. If you work on the same job forever and just with the expectation of a promotion, you may not ever get it. You have to verbalize that I'm interested in moving from this place I'm in right now to that place right there, in order to make that move.
And if you're not getting that promotion, it could be time looking for something else.
Exactly. And be unapologetically clear as to what your expectation is.
Exactly.
With my wife, I'm very clear about what I need from her. I don't just sit around and wait. Oh, I gave her a gift on Tuesday. She has to have something for me on Thursday. No. My birthday is coming. For those of you, I'm accepting gifts all month, so don't be shy. But
when your birthday, Keisha?
February 23rd. Hello, Pisces family, February babies. But for me, I know for a fact that I'm verbal about, here's what I want to see happen for my birthday.
With some people, you try to, when you're verbal, some men will, with all the education we have, we will not talk. But when we're verbal, some men will look at that as nagging. Complaining, whining.
Then he is not the man. He is not the man for you. He is the man, but he's not the man for you or the woman for you if this person cannot.
And earlier, I think it was Children that did make the comment that women aren't the only ones who pour everything. And you're right. You're definitely right about that.
That's
And this is
not
like a
even,
general topic.
you know, I hear women saying that there are no great men, and I know so many. Like my male friends are some amazing men. One of my friends, Chris, his wife walks into a room, his whole face lights up like he just met her yesterday. They've been together forever since Jesus walked the earth. They've been a couple, but he still sees this woman, and he's still so in love with this woman. So it is absolutely possible for there to be longevity in a relationship, but there has to be a level of communication that goes both ways. And we can't be, men and women alike cannot be afraid to say, I'm not getting what I need out of this relationship.
You know what?
You don't get it.
Right. Well, you know, I always said it's two things that determines how you feel about somebody. Woman feels about you by the way they look at you, by the way you feel when they're looking at you, and then you know how you feel about somebody by your response when you see them calling or sending a text message. So those are two telltales of how people feel.
And I even think in our relationships we've got to get away from so much texting and necessity.
What does fear do, Keldrick? Fear does what?
Maybe he's saying it prevents you from asking for what you need. But please clarify, Keldrick, what you're saying. But I think that we have to be bold enough to even know that when I tell you what I need, I'm doing a favor for both of us. I'm doing both of us a justice.
So we can either do this or we can not waste our time. Exactly. I do that. Well, I will walk in the door like, bam, look, this is what I'm looking for, and this is what I'm just not dealing with.
Right.
You know, and it's funny because you know what people do, and one of the issues I have, I will tell a man, I wear my feelings on my sleeve. You'll always know exactly how I feel about you. If I really care about you, sometimes I always want to touch you if we're in the car together. I just like random text messages. I might just do those. I'm thinking about you, just calls to let you know. And then guys say how much they like that and they want that and this and that. But once you're actually doing that, they consider it clingy or they can't handle it. And I'm like, well, this is how I am. And I told you from the beginning. You know, but when it's actually, some people say they want one thing, and then when they getting it, that's not really what they want.
I think we could all be guilty of that in one way or another. Let's read what Keldrick said. It can stop you from telling your partner what you need because you're afraid they'll leave. We got to be able to talk to each other and trust each other.
But okay, don't trust them and talk. You have to tell them what you need and what you want. If y'all gonna talk and trust each other, you can't have a fear of them leaving. If you want to work on trust and communication, you should be able. If I can't tell you how I'm feeling, or if I don't like something or something like that, you know, what's the point? What's the point in us even being together if I can't even talk to you?
And we have that seems like the barest minimum in a relationship.
Yeah, but that's the most difficult part.
Exactly.
Be the most difficult part of a relationship though.
Yes. And it's I feel like it's our own insecurity when we don't say what we need. Like I used to swallow a lot. Yeah. Don't take it the wrong way, people. I used to swallow a lot out of fear that
she's not talking about that way. She might mean that way too, but she talking about the other way.
But not right now. Right. I used to hold in a lot to avoid like conflict someone or avoid the conflict. But at 43 now, I feel like let me tell you so that we are clear. And if we're not clear, then that's where there's room for there to be a problem. But as long as we're clear, we should have fewer problems.
Exactly.
My point is that we don't get that you out the way in the beginning. We don't get that out you in the beginning. Okay, I get what you're saying. I think a lot of women, honestly, Terry, I think too many women, I think women talk too much in the beginning. And I'll tell you why I say that. Because when you walk in and you start telling a guy, here's what I want, here's what I'm looking for, here's what I need, he gonna try to be that dude. He's gonna try. If you want a man that go to church Sunday, he sharp, he got his linen from Easter out, got his 9 later gators, he headed down to the church. He gonna take a picture. He gonna send you that. Trust me, he will tell me when things aren't going right. Yes, baby.
Right there with them 9 later gators, baby.
Because you have laid out a blueprint of success. Here's what I need from you. And this guy, bless his whole heart, is going to attempt to give you that thing that you asked him to be with you, right?
Yeah.
But if we just be quiet, if you just be quiet, and in those beginning stages, see what kind of man he is. Is he the man that's going to open the door for you if that's important? Is he the man that's going to make it his business to take you out in the daytime? Is that the man that he is? Is he kind to his mama? Does he look after his children? If these things are important to you, you need to see if this is who he is.
But you know what? I agree with that. But on the flip side of that is, I want to know. I just want you to know where I'm coming from up front, because maybe you get that from the jump. So look, I want my time, I want my attention to this and that. If you can't deal with it,
going to tell you
that waiting to see who you are, because hell, I don't need to see who the hell you are if we on 2 different pages.
But how many people are going to be honest with you about what they are not?
Right, because they say that they can deal with a lot of stuff that in reality they cannot.
Like as women, we always say, tell me the truth. And I'm here to tell you that we don't always really want that truth.
Ladies, I will tell you this about that tell me the truth and be honest thing. Never ask a question that you don't want the answer to. Never. If you want him to be honest with you, don't ask him stuff that you don't want, you don't want the answer to, because you putting him in a position to have to lie.
Mm-hmm. And don't come into the scenario trying to solve all of his problems if this is not something that you can commit to for a lifetime.
Exactly.
Okay? You come in, he has children, and you want to be the best stepmama in the world because you just met this man and you really feeling him. If you're not truly committed to that for the long haul, don't start it. We're just as guilty as a lot of the men that we talk about. They're trying to pretend to be a lot of stuff that
I ain't interested in dealing with. I would up front. Like me personally, I'm 43 years old. If we gonna be serious and we gonna do this, I just don't know if I could date a man with young children. Okay. They gotta at least be teenagers, almost grown.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Just like I'm running into a lot of guys who don't have children that still want to have children and want me to be their baby. I'm too old. Baby. I'm getting that more and more. It's amazing. You'll be amazed at how many men are over 35 that still don't have children and want children. Mm-hmm. I know men in their 40s that don't have children and still want children. And I'm like, I've been there, done that. Been there, done that. I'm not trying to raise any more kids. Hell, I don't even babysit my nephew. I don't even babysit. But those are some of the things, up front. I'm not going to sit there and say I could be the best stepmama in the world. No, not. And you got a 3 and a 6-year-old kid. No, ma'am. Yes, Sarah, baby. I'm not trying to be. I love the Lord. I love the Bible. I'm not trying to relive that story of Sarah, baby, being all 90 years old, spitting out children. No, ma'am.
Here's what I know I can't deal with. I can't deal with a club head. if every weekend you knocking the club down, you closing the door, I can't do it with you. Like, I'm not even gonna try. If that's really your deal, I'm not gonna try.
Kids is young. I didn't have kids yet when I was 26 either.
When I was in my 20s, I was somebody's mama. Like, I had Tariq. My oldest son is 23 and I'm 43. So I got pregnant at 19. At 20, I was a mother. I've been somebody's mama for more than half of my life.
Right.
And I have a granddaughter now, to be quite frank about the situation. I
was almost 28 when I had my first one.
Oh, bless your soul.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not, I don't have the desire in me. And there was a long time, because I struggled with fertility issues. After I had my oldest son, for 6 years, I attempted to have another child. I didn't want him to be an only child. And I struggled to get pregnant again. And, by the time I had my youngest son, they were so far apart in age, it was very hard for them to forge a relationship, because they really didn't have much in common in their, at the age range that they were. But at this point, at 43, to start being somebody's mama,
baby,
you're not interested in doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's me. You tell me, if I meet you, tell me up front what you want, what you're expecting, because I'm honestly going to let you know if I can deal with it or not. Now, one thing
about credit issues. How do you feel about credit and incarceration, like records? How you feel about that?
The incarceration thing, it just depends on what you were in there for. Mm-hmm. That's one key thing to it, because I had a friend who was incarcerated for a while. It was for drugs, and he came out and got his life right together, because when he went in there, he had that hustle, make it happen mentality. So he was able to get out, take, and get back in. Right, Tasha, it depends. And he was able to get back into it, and he got his own business and doing quite well. In his credit, he's just a friend. We're not involved or anything, but it just depends on. Now, if you were a damn pedophile or something like that, I feel like you should still be in it anyway. But something like that, no, ma'am.
I'm with you. I do agree that the record, and fortunately, my wife is like the letter of the law. Like, she don't run yellow lights. She do everything, pay her taxes on time and everything right. Okay. So bless her soul for that. But I do,
balance.
You need a balance. Like, I'm the rebellious one.
Lacking in all of the same things.
Say that again.
We both can't be lacking in all of the same things.
I agree. I grew up a lot differently than she did. And I am the more rebellious one of the two of us. She has calmed my spirit down a lot in some of my ways of thinking about things. But for me, I always, like you, I look at the circumstances and what we're talking about when it comes down to incarceration, what's your current situation. If we're talking murder and rape and pedophile, we ain't got nothing to talk about. I'm not, I can't do it. I have kids, and now I have a granddaughter. So I can't even introduce that into their lives. I absolutely can't do that. But I do believe that, a lot of us don't have a record because of God's grace.
Oh, yeah.
And point.
That's the same, because it could the person right there could very well have been you. Mm-hmm. When it comes to records, HIV,
yes,
homelessness, drug addiction, it could have very well been you. Some people out there, you one joint, let the truth be told, you one joint away from being, a crackhead's damn self.
I'm glad you said that, because when we were growing up, we had another friend named Don.
Yes.
And Don, was very like
Don and Rodrigo. We were the Hollywood Squares.
Yeah. There were 4 of us. Dawn and I actually were in elementary school together even.
Right.
And we have been so close for so long. But as life would have it, things just got busy for everybody. You know, Tanray moved to Atlanta. I don't know where Rodrigo wound up moving.
I caught up with Rodrigo once on Facebook. I'm gonna look through my friends list. I think she's still a Facebook friend. I'm really close with with her cousin. I'm gonna see where she is. It would be nice to talk to her.
Yeah. And Dawn, you know, we actually lived on the same street, just a few avenues. Like she was off of 15th Avenue and I was off of 17th Avenue, but we lived on the same street. And Dawn passed away as a result of a drug overdose.
Yes.
And for us to have been so close and had a lot of the same life experiences, grew up in the same neighborhood, it could have easily been any one of us that situation happened to. So I take it as a life lesson, like everything, even the things that tend to feel like it's breaking us are all in place to make us. Like all of it has to happen because your life is supposed to be the testimony that you give to somebody else who's experiencing a lot of what you've already been through.
Exactly.
To show that, you know, you can survive it all, whether it's being incarcerated or homeless or divorced. The scariest day getting divorced for me was the day that we were standing in court. And, you know, I looked at this man.
I didn't even get that opportunity, baby. He did an absentee divorce behind my back and got everything.
Wow.
The whole year to get it back.
Wow.
I thought because I had left and I thought we were doing everything fairly and equally. And next thing you know, I had all kind of papers served to me in the mail. Well, it came in the mail.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my story is something else. Yes.
So we got a part 2 coming. So we could really get Stefan says, so true. Anything can happen at any time. I'm 26 trying to figure my life out and I've been broke all my life. We could easily be in any situation. Well, Stefan, you know, here's what I appreciate about being broke. We are used to that shit. It's rich people that lose their damn mind when they ain't got no money. You know, we've always had to try to figure things out.
Figure it out how if you're gonna pay this or pay this.
Because we know what it's like to prioritize a lot of times when they don't know how to. So
now, I don't have no sympathy for the ones that's broke and to spend all their money on an outfit. Now you worried about how you gonna pay your light bill. Now those are the ones
that you feel no empathy for.
Exactly.
I feel
hold that outfit up to the sun and see if it got some solar power or something. Do that all month. Next 2 weeks, you get another check.
But I really think, you know, Tanray is, you know, in that situation, it's a lot of times the fact that when we're growing up, I don't even remember having the importance of credit conversation.
You know, those are conversations we as Black people don't need, that we need to have with our kids. Credit, bank accounts, you know, balancing a checkbook.
Yes.
Those are things that our parents don't really teach us.
They don't.
And I didn't know the importance of credit. I remember when I hit college and turned 18, honey, Sears sent me what the hell I want out of Sears? But it was a credit card, so I was just in there in Sears just looking for stuff to get. Like, what the hell? I want from damn Sears.
You know who got me? Learners. Learners ass got me. Learners, because I just got my first little credit card. I burned a hole through that card just shopping for nonsense. Didn't need none of that stuff. You know, I left for college well prepared.
Towels and sheets. I'm 18. What do I care about towels and sheets? Just to use that card. But I didn't know no better.
Sometimes like, wait, I should be dating. Considering should I be dating? Let me say this to you, Stefan. I know we're at the end of the show, but Stefan, baby, I want to say this because you are young. Take it all in stride. There's nothing wrong with being in a relationship while you still trying to figure some things out. There's nothing wrong with that. And anybody who tells you should go be alone somewhere, tell them take a walk. The reality of it is recognizing, girl, Tasha Birdines, bit girl. Birdines is the devil. Oh, okay. I had to go get a job with them to pay them off because that was a whole hot mess. But let me go back to Stefan. Don't know what Birdines is. Let me go back to Stefan. Stefan, even at our lowest times, there's a lesson that we have to learn. So where you are financially right now is not where you have to be. Yeah, that's not where you have to be. That's today's assignment. That's not tomorrow. But it's a matter of learning how to prioritize and learning how to have a balance in your world. If having a new girl and trying to impress her means not paying your car note or not covering your light bill, then I would say maybe you're not ready to date. But if you can have a very honest conversation with her, let her know build towards something and you don't have it like that, and y'all two can work together, then by all means, do your thing, but not to your detriment. Yes. Keep that in mind. Never to your detriment.
That'll let you know where her character is too.
Exactly.
Be honest with her that you're trying to get yourself together. And for now, dates might have to be extremely inexpensive, or Netflix and some Chinese, or Netflix and cheeseburgers. A lot of times, if you got a real one, it's the quality of time y'all spending together that means the most. It's not how much money you spending.
Yes.
If you got a real one, all that, they're gonna be fine with that. Is the most important thing to her should be that you're spending time with her.
And the quality of the relationship no matter what purse you buy, no matter what pair of shoes, there's going to be a better, nicer, newer, bigger bag, purse, car, you name it.
Exactly.
Find somebody who wants to live and build with you, not just gain from you. That can't.
I agree, Tasha.
That can't be it. Now Tiffany, your mama was amazing.
Yes. Tiffany, girl, tell me right now, you got good credit and everything else, don't you? Because your mama got your values together early.
Yes, absolutely. Got
your values together. And see, what we as Black parents too need to realize, and that was our first date, I was embarrassed. But we as Black parents need to realize that it's so many different things we need to teach our children. We got to remember, we got to teach them the things like the importance of credit and balance in a checkbook and all of those other things. Not just the keep your legs closed, and stuff like that. Now that's important too. No, don't get me wrong. But I don't know.
We're gonna close on that note. Now, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you following Tanray on Instagram because she got to get her following up at Tanray Garcia. That's TANRAY GARCIA, Tanray Garcia, and follow me on Instagram at The Curvy Alchemist. That's THECurvyAlchemist. This is not the end of this conversation. I'm jealous. Tiffany says she is retired at 41, baby. We got work to do over here, boo-boo. Yes, ma'am.
We got you together early. I know
together early. You see how having those conversations with your children impact the rest of their lives. Parents, we urge you, have these positive conversations with your children now. It impacts the rest of their lives. It's the foundation that they're building a life on. We will be back.
My kids not about credit and checkbooks, because I might need to get my lights turned on in one of their names.
So we will be back next week. Same time, 9:30. Tanray, are you back next week at 9:30?
Back next week at
Okay. So next week at 9:30, we will be back to continue this conversation, and we invite all of you back. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you, Tasha. Girl, we got to talk about that. We'll talk. Thank you for your comments. Thank you, Stefan. Thank you, Kels. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, ladies, for being and gentlemen for being a part. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Kelly.
I see Derek done started watching.
Thank you all so much for being a part of this show. We will see you next week, same station. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is the Curve-Unplugged on YouTube, or you can find the link on our Facebook page at the Curve. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Night.